This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Welcome to a new episode of the Pawsible Care for Dogs podcast.
Great to be here.
In today's episode, we are exploring further American Water Spaniel Health. Essential best practices to keep your dog happy and healthy.
Ah, the American Water Spaniel. They really do capture your heart, don't they?
They absolutely do.
Such a spirited nature, really intelligent too, and so affectionate. Plus, their love for water is just, well, it's in the name.
Exactly.
And what I find particularly rewarding is how eager they are to please. It really shines through.
It does. And that desire to connect, it extends to their well-being, right?
Yeah.
So today, we're really diving deep into the essential best practices to help your AWS thrive. Think of this as kind of a shortcut, distilling the key info you need for a long, happy, healthy life with them.
Yeah, exactly. And while the American Water Spaniel is, generally a pretty hardy breed, being aware of potential health concerns lets you be proactive.
Right, proactive care.
That early awareness can make a huge difference for their long-term vitality.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's look at some of the common health issues. Hip dysplasia, that comes up for a lot of breeds, AWS included.
It does, yeah. Hip dysplasia is basically a genetic issue. It affects how the hip joint forms.
All right.
If it doesn't develop correctly, well, that can lead to things like arthritis and mobility problems down the line.
So checkups are key.
Regular vet checkups are vital, yeah, for early detection. And interestingly, research shows that keeping them lean, maintaining a really good body condition, especially the first 2 years, that can significantly cut down the chances and severity of hip dysplasia, even in dogs predisposed to it.
Wow. Okay, that's really good to know about those early years. It sounds like heart health is another big area we need to be aware of.
Yes, absolutely. American Water Spaniels can be susceptible to a few different heart conditions.
Such as?
Well, there's mitral valve disease that affects a valve between heart chambers, can reduce blood flow. Then pulmonic stenosis, that's a narrowing of the valve controlling blood flow out to the lungs. And also patent ductus arteriosus, or PDA.
TDA.
Yeah, it's where a blood vessel that should close right after birth stays open.
I see.
So early detection through regular vet exams, where the vet really listens carefully to the heart, that's absolutely key for managing these things.
And their eyes, we always admire their, expressive look. Are there specific eye problems to watch out for?
Unfortunately, yes. Certain eye disorders do pop up in the breed. Things like cataracts.
The clouding of the lens.
Exactly. Impairs vision, and also progressive retinal atrophy. PRA.
PRA, what does that involve?
That's a gradual loss of the photoreceptor cells in the retina. Sadly, it eventually leads to blindness.
Oh, that's tough.
It is. So regular screenings by a board-certified veterinary ophthalmologist, highly recommended for catching things early.
It's clear that health is more than skin deep. Conditions like hypothyroidism need attention too.
Absolutely. Hypothyroidism happens when the thyroid gland just isn't producing enough thyroid hormone.
And how would you know? What are the signs?
It can show up in different ways. Maybe unexplained weight gain, lethargy, skin problems.
Okay.
Annual blood tests are really valuable here. They can check thyroid function, allow for early diagnosis, and then you can manage it with medication.
And a concern for, well, pretty much all dog owners, obesity. How does that play out with American Water Spaniels?
They could definitely be prone to gaining weight if you're not careful with their diet and exercise.
Right.
And obesity isn't just, how they look. It seriously makes other health problems worse. Puts extra strain on joints, the heart.
Your portion control.
Consistent portion control at meals, absolutely. And limit treats, maybe stick to around 10% of their daily calories from treats. That plus their regular exercise is crucial.
Okay, so understanding these potential issues is step one. Let's shift gears now. How do we build a strong foundation through proper nutrition? What are the essentials there?
Providing a balanced diet, one that's specifically tailored to their life stage.
Yeah.
That's fundamental. Really basic, but so important.
Makes sense. A puppy's needs are different from an older dog's.
Exactly. A growing puppy has very different nutritional requirements than an adult or a senior.
So let's start with puppies. What do those little guys need?
Puppies need nutrient-rich food. High-quality stuff to support all that rapid growth and development.
Right.
You'll typically see puppy foods with higher levels of protein and fat that fuels their energy and helps build strong bones and muscles.
And then when they become adults, what's the focus?
For adult AWS, the goal is really maintaining their energy without letting them pack on extra pounds.
Okay.
So balanced diet, good quality protein, digestible carbs, healthy fats, enough fuel for their active life, but no overfeeding.
And as they get older, become seniors, do their needs change again?
Yes, they often do. Senior dogs can benefit from diets formulated to support joint health. Sometimes these have supplements like glucosamine and chondroitin mixed in.
Oh, okay.
And these senior formulas are often a bit lower in calories too, accounting for maybe less activity and a slower metabolism.
And it's not just what they eat, but how we feed them. Any practical tips on feeding frequency, treats?
For adult dogs, feeding them twice a day usually works well. And treats. Well, remember that 10% rule?
Right, only about 10% of daily calories?
Yeah, it's surprisingly easy to give too many treats, even when you mean well.
That's a great rule of thumb. Okay, now American Water Spaniels. Energy. Let's talk exercise.
Energetic is maybe an understatement. These dogs really thrive on regular physical activity.
How much are we talking?
Aim for at least an hour of good, solid exercise every day. That could be brisk walks, playing fetch in the yard.
Swimming.
Oh, definitely activities they love, like swimming and retrieving. They adore that.
And it's not just physical, is it? Mental stimulation sounds crucial for this breed.
Absolutely crucial. Alongside the physical stuff, mental enrichment is key. They're smart, they're eager to learn.
So they need challenges.
Yes, activities that engage their minds. Puzzle toys are fantastic for this. And regular engaging training sessions too. Keeps their brains busy, prevents boredom, which can lead to behavioral issues.
Okay, training. Given how smart they are, what works best?
Well, because they're intelligent and eager to please, they usually respond really well to training, especially positive reinforcement.
Treats and praise.
Highly effective. Start with the basics, sit, stay, come. Then gradually move to more complex things. You could even get into canine sports or activities with them.
And socialization. How important is that early on?
Oh, early and ongoing socialization is absolutely vital. You want a well-rounded, confident dog.
Yeah.
Exposing your AWS puppy to lots of different environments, people, other well-behaved animals. That helps them become adaptable and comfortable.
Is there a critical window for that?
There is. Studies show that dogs not properly socialized before, around, say, 16 weeks old, are much more likely to develop fear or anxiety issues later. So it's really important early on.
Got it. Okay, let's move to grooming and hygiene. That distinctive coat needs special care, I bet.
It does. That dense, water-repellent double coat needs regular attention.
How often should you brush?
Brushing maybe 2 or 3 times a week is essential. Helps prevent mats, gets rid of loose hair, and any, bits of nature they've collected.
And bathing. They love water, but do they need lots of baths?
Actually, no. Bathing should only be when they're really necessary, like visibly dirty or they've rolled in something unpleasant.
Why not more often?
Overbathing can strip the natural oils from their coat. That can lead to dry skin, irritation, and it compromises the coat's protective qualities.
Okay. What about those floppy ears, especially with all the swimming?
You're spot on. Ear care is crucial, particularly after swimming. Check their ears often. Look for redness, discharge, any funny smell.
And cleaning.
Clean them as needed, yeah, but use a vet-approved cleaner. Helps prevent ear infections, which are pretty common in dogs with floppy ears that trap moisture.
Makes sense. And we can't forget teeth.
No way. Good dental hygiene is just as vital for them as for us. Brushing their teeth several times a week helps stop tartar buildup and gum disease.
Which can affect their overall health, right?
Absolutely. Gum disease can have surprisingly big impacts on their whole system if you let it go.
Okay, this seems like a good moment to remind everyone listening.
Ah, yes.
This is a good moment for you to like and subscribe to the channel.
Definitely helps us keep bringing you this kind of information. Okay, so we've covered a lot of daily care now.
Yeah.
Routine veterinary care, hugely important.
Absolutely. How often should an AWS see the vet for a checkup?
Annual checkups are really the cornerstone of preventative health.
Just once a year.
For a healthy adult, yes, usually. These comprehensive exams let your vet catch potential issues early, often before you'd even notice anything at home.
And keeping up with shots and parasite control, that's non-negotiable.
Totally non-negotiable. Vaccinations protect against serious, sometimes fatal diseases. And consistent parasite control fleas, ticks, worms is essential for their comfort and health.
You mentioned earlier about specific screenings for AWS. Given their predispositions, what should people focus on?
Right, considering their potential for those heart conditions, eye disorders, and thyroid issues we talked about. Regular health screenings focused on those areas are highly recommended, especially as they get older. Things like cardiac checks, eye exams, thyroid tests.
Gotcha. And finally, let's touch on genetics. How does understanding their genetic background help?
Understanding the breed's genetic predispositions really empowers you and your vet. You can be more proactive.
How so?
Well, responsible breeders should be doing health clearances on the parent dogs. They should be able to provide documentation showing screening for hip dysplasia, certain eye conditions, heart diseases.
They should ask for that.
Definitely. Ask to see those health clearances. It gives you a heads up about potential risks and helps you be more vigilant.
And with all this care, the right diet, exercise, vet visits, everything, what's a typical lifespan for an American Water Spaniel?
With proper care, paying attention to all these best practices we've discussed, they typically enjoy a lifespan of around 10 to 14 years.
That's a good long time for companionship.
It is. Many years of devoted companionship from a wonderful breed.
It really sounds like embracing these practices sets them up for a long, healthy, and just fulfilling life.
It really does.
And their loyalty, that intelligence, their sheer zest for life, it makes all the effort totally worthwhile, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They are a truly special breed. Providing them with the right care, the right attention, we ensure they live their happiest, healthiest lives right alongside us. And they enrich our lives so much in return.
Well said. And to everyone listening, we'd love to hear your comments with your thoughts, questions, suggestions, and experiences about it.
Yeah, please do share your insights, your stories. It helps everyone in the community. Great for other American Water Spaniel enthusiasts, too.
Have a beautiful day, take care of your lovely doggies, and we see you on the next one.